The Olympics still going strong in Sochi. The Paralympics have begun. This year marks the 11th Winter Games for athletes with disabilities. Now, I'm going to be honest here. I hate saying the word disabilities. And after meeting 18-year-old Daniel Velasquez recently, I'm not sure it's even accurate. Daniel's a senior at the International School of Americas on campus at Lee High School. And a few weeks ago, he sent me an email that read, "You should consider doing a profile on me." I remember thinking, who is this kid? Then I met him, and I left our interview in tears because this so-called kid had a spirit I have rarely seen in covering sports.
You should meet Daniel Velasquez. We all should. Because knowing him is to know the true meaning of courage, of will. And quite frankly, watching Daniel is to see what it truly means to be an athlete.
I was born with cerebral palsy, and it affects all four limbs. Basically what it does is it gives my muscles, makes them real spastic. Things like stretching and running, actually, growing up was really, really hard for me to do.
For Daniel, life is about dreams and time, one always tied to the other, pushing him to the brink of both failure and greatness.
When he was born, they told us a lot of things. He's not going to walk, he's not going to do this. He was born on December 21st, and on December 24th, they said, if you're Catholic and blah, 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 you need to baptize him in the hospital. And I said, no, we're going to baptize him when we take him home. They said, well, you need to do it now. And my husband was like, he's telling us they're not going to make it. And I said, no, he's going to make it, and we're not baptizing him in the hospital. We're baptizing him when we take him home.
Daniel beat the odds, but daily life was a constant struggle.
I used to stretch him every day when he was little, and I had to fight with him and stuff. And finally, when he was about 10, I kind of realized I'm done. And I told him, these are the things you need to do, and you can stretch or not stretch, and I'll be willing to help you. But if you want to look like a pretzel your whole life, that's fine with me.
Needless to say, Daniel didn't want to be a pretzel, but stretching would only go so far. His life was an endless trip to the doctor's office. He had neurosurgery at age 6 to flatten his feet.
They said, he may not walk for 6 or 8 weeks. Well, he was walking in 3 weeks. And then at 10, he had what we call a blue plate special.
A 9-hour surgery, 12 procedures, hospitalized for nearly 14 weeks. As Mom Lori says, the doctors rebuilt his lower body. Daniel endured, he fought, he lived, all because he dreamed of living life as an athlete.
My parents never treated me different than any of my siblings. I have a younger brother who's a year younger than me, and so he did sports, I did sports. I did everything. I played baseball, t-ball, soccer, I did everything.
But the clock was ticking. Middle school sports were one thing. High school would be entirely different.
My parents really talked to me and said, look, you can do this your 8th grade year, but going into high school, you know that it's varsity and it's all these tryout sports that you're not going to be able to make. And so I was not saddened by that at all. I knew what was coming.
He also knew what he wanted. In 2012, Daniel had watched the Paralympics in London, and a passion grew.
And I was hooked. I was like, man, look at all these disabled people just doing it and just going hard, and they don't even care.
The child who at one time just wanted to walk now dreamed of running.
And I watched the London Paralympics, and I said, you know, that's where I want to be. I remember writing it down in a journal, all the emotions I was feeling watching it, what it felt like to see people wear the USA colors. And so from that moment, I was like, okay, let's go 4 more years, 8 more years, Tokyo, Rio, let's do it.
And so it began. Daniel's goal is to represent the U.S. in the 2016 Paralympics in Rio, and he's teamed up with former Spurs trainer Mike Brungard to get serious.
I work out Daniel like I work out an athlete. I work on strength and power.
So grateful to Mike. I meet with him 3 days a week, and he just kills me. He lays me out.
When we first started, there were certain things that he just couldn't do. He could never run out of blocks before because he didn't have the calf strength before to actually explode out. He'd go directly to the ground.
Go.
Now he's got enough strength where he can actually explode out of the blocks here.
Go.
I don't hold back. I kick his rear end.
Last month marked the 1-year anniversary of their training sessions. Their relationship summed up by this tweet from Daniel. I can't thank him enough for believing in me and seeing me as an athlete.
When people say you're disabled, I say, yeah, I am, but I mean, I'm on the track. I do things differently. I prefer differently able. That's kind of my motto. When I get a car, I'm going to use hand controls, but I still drive. I'm still able to do stuff like that. I still walk around, run, do things. I'm differently able.
He just turned 18, and we were actually talking about it, and we just like, we can't believe it. We can't believe the things he's doing. We used to always tell him, you know, Daniel doing whatever, turning disabilities into endless, what would we say?
Endless possibilities.
Endless possibilities.
Only time will tell if his dream is realized, but for now, that's what Daniel has. Time and a dream, and the courage to chase both.
I sent out a tweet a couple months ago, said if I make Team USA, I'm going to cry, because it's been my dream since I was age 10 to represent the United States. And then I said something like, yeah, this is what I think about at 4 a.m. So representing the United States goes through my mind constantly. I'll be in class and space out for 2 seconds because I'm thinking of what it would look like to wear that uniform, what it would look like to wear a medal, what it would look like to run around the track with the USA flag on my back. So it's crazy.
It doesn't sound crazy at all. It sounds like an athlete and his dream.
Cool kid. The cliche is to say that Daniel wants to be like everybody else. You just saw he's not. How many people do you know that self-motivated, that goal-driven? Not everybody's an athlete. Daniel is. And he's now one step closer to becoming an Olympian. Just this week, he found out he will compete this summer as a sprinter for Team USA at the World Junior Games. I'll ask you this. Anybody out there want to dare and bet against him? I don't think so.